what I've got today, this is an old 404. This was on the pole that the 404 was on that I made the last video. I put my grandpa's old 404 on that pole, and that's because that reel actually worked and what have you. And that reel, incidentally, was originally on this pole. But anyway, this 404 that was on the Kodiak pole when I got it was locked up and it wasn't working, and it wouldn't cast. Well, yesterday I took it all apart and was playing with it, and I'd watched a video a guy made about maintaining one of these old 404s, and anyway, I was able to figure out that somebody had over tightened the drag to the point that it had bent the tab. There's a tab inside there, and it bent it down into the teeth of the gear that's behind the spool, and that's how come it wouldn't cast. Now, I was able to fix that pretty easy. Now it cast real nice, and I put it on this pole. This pole originally was a 7-foot pole. Now it's a 6-foot pole, and the reason for that, you can see where this eye is at. It broke, and me and a buddy of mine took a Dremel tool and cut the broke section out of it and used some epoxy and epoxied it back together. And I've just never, this eye is really not necessary on here. I've just never taken the time to take it off. And anyway, I've got the 404, this 404 on this pole, and I was going to take it out today and do some fishing, but we had a bunch of storms blow in here in Houston, and that kept me out of the fishing game today. Now, this reel I've just basically got put on this pole. It's an old Johnson Century. Turn it around here so you can see. What do we got going on? Alright, anyway. It's an old Johnson Century 100B. And the problem with it is the pickup pin won't engage the line and it won't reel in, so I'm going to have to get into it and take it completely apart and figure out what's wrong with it. I'm not really sure how old this reel is. My understanding, they quit making these in 1978, so it's at least that old. It may be older than that, but it's not one of the real old ones, and you can tell by the foot and by the color of the material that the handle is made out of, that it's one of the later models of the 100B from back then. But anyway, I'm going to try to get it going. And the thing about this pole, this was a very, very old pole that belonged to my grandpa, and I'm not sure what kind it is. The material is clear that it's made out of, and the problem with it is this rod tip is broke off right here, and I need to replace that rod tip. So that's a project I got going on. Now this 404, once again, I'm not sure exactly how old it is, but it's probably dates back to the late 1960s, early 1970s. You can tell by the white Bakelite handles, the tan body, and the green nose cap or cowling cover. Made in the USA. Anyway, yeah, I've now got 2 working 404s, and I've got this Johnson that I'm going to try to get going. There's a rod and reel repair shop in town that I may take this thing to if I can't get it fixed on my own, figure out what's wrong with it. Basically, if you take the cover off and you hold the front of the pin will move back and forth and whatever, but the button doesn't engage on its own, and when you turn it, it doesn't click and it doesn't start picking up any lines. So there's something going on in there, and I'm not sure what, but hopefully I'll be able to get it fixed and have a neat little crappie pole, or you know, a little lightweight rig for those yellow bass that I'm catching all the time. Alright, well, that's what I got for right now. Thank you for watching.